What's up, y'all? I said, what's up, y'all? Look at me when I'm talking to you, bro. Nah, I'm just messing with y'all, man. This is your boy Knockout Boxing 86 TV, and we in here. So check this out, y'all. Before we get going on our video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, share the video, turn on your notifications, and please go follow me on Twitter at KOBoxing86TV is the Twitter handle. And if you have a breakdown or a prediction you want me to do, knockoutboxing86@yahoo.com is the email address. And don't forget to check out our live show. I'll be live tonight, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be live on Friday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And I'll also be live on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So y'all be sure to come through for a fun night of boxing talk. But let's get to the video, man. So we got Hall of Fame trainer Nacho, aka Nacho Beristain, who is basically, people say he hating on Canelo Alvarez. And we're going to talk about it in this video. For those of y'all that don't know who Nacho Beristain is, most notably, he's a Hall of Fame boxing trainer out of Mexico. He trained, he trained Juan Manuel Marquez, 4th Division champion. He trained Johnny Gonzalez. He trained so many champions, bro, like tens of 20s of champions, mainly down at the lower weight classes. But, you know, if you know boxing, if you know Mexican boxing for sure, you know who Nacho is, right? And Nacho came out and he said this about Canelo Alvarez, right? He said, I recognize that he's a great fighter and athlete because he trains very well and his trainer prepares him well. So he gave him props for being a great fighter. He gave him props for his training and his trainer and stuff. He says, but I don't agree that he is one of the greatest Mexican fighters ever. Ooh, that probably made some Canelo fans mad. He said, it doesn't matter that he's won the titles that he's won and the money he's making. I recognize he's a great fighter, but there's still a little more he needs to do to be in the heart of Mexican boxing fans. And what's missing is 1 or 2 fights, the type of that Julio Cesar Chavez had and others. He fights and keeps fighting, but personally for me, as a trainer of many fighters, he doesn't fulfill me. He hasn't had a fight that has really captured the hearts of the people. He fights and wins millions of dollars, and that's good. It makes me happy to see that he's having success, but he hasn't had that one fight we all want to see. He hasn't had it. Listen, bro. I ain't hear no lies, man. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all, and I think I understand where Nacho is coming from, but I understand why Canelo, you know, rabid Canelo Alvarez fans don't like to hear that. But here's the facts, bro. Here's what the key that I'm stuck on is greatest Mexican fighter of all time and captures the heart of all the Mexican boxing fans. That's what I'm really listening to when I read these quotes and when I'm trying to dissect what he's trying to say. So when I think of the Mexican fight fan, for the most part, like, they love the wars, bro. They love 2 fighters giving they all a war, a bloodbath, and, you know, the toughest best man win, and he imposed his will on the other one. And when you think of the guys that Canelo is being compared to, you know, you got Eric Morales, and he had Barrera, and Barrera had him, and it was a trilogy for the ages. You know, big time, huge fights that really, you know, meant a lot to not only boxing, but to the Mexican boxing fan base. You got Julio Cesar Chavez and Mildred Taylor, bro. Like, them fights, them 2 fights that they had, fire, bro. Fire fights, nip and tuck fights, close fights, where, you know, Julio Cesar Chavez came out on top in both of them, but they were very, very close fights. Matter of fact, they first fight got Fighter of the Year. I believe that was 89 or 90. Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, one of my historians in the building, but they got, because I go back and watch these fights. I was like 3 or 4 years old when they fought, so I didn't see it real time, but I do know that they first fight got Fighter of the Year between Mildred Taylor and Julio Cesar Chavez. Chavez won both of those matchups. Then you got Juan Manuel Marquez, one of Nacho's fighters, who went with 4 fights with Manny Pacquiao. Had him a great day as partner. So I think what Nacho, I believe, is trying to say, and the part that I agree with, is we ain't seen that Morales Barrera moment, that Chavez Mildred Taylor moment, that Pacquiao Marquez moment from Canelo yet. He ain't had the proper dance partner to bring that out of him. To be honest with you, his close fights, like the Triple G fight, that was close, but it didn't turn into that because in the second fight, Canelo just thoroughly dominated him, bro. He beat him up and did him dirty in the second fight. The Floyd Mayweather fight, he got schooled. So there was no second fight needed. There was no, like, we pretty much know what the outcome would have been in the second fight. So Canelo just missing that proper dance partner that's going to bring the best up out of him. That's going to be such a great fight that people want to see it again. And I think that's what Nacho is alluding to. Like, when are we going to get that rematch, that trilogy where it's like, damn, bro, these are the biggest and best fights of this era. And he hasn't given that to us yet. And it could be two-part. Listen. It could be because Canelo just so much better. We about to find out because he ain't really got nowhere to fight but the fighters that fight fans have been calling for. Maybe he just too good for these dudes in this era, bro. Like, that's a possibility. Because what if he get in there with Charlo and beat the shit out of him? Then he get in there with all these 175-pound champions and beat their ass too. Then what? Well, can we still say it's his fault that he didn't get to have those moments because he just beating the shit and running through the top of these divisions? Like, I don't know. What if he do get in there with Andrade, and Andrade come up to 168 and he smash on him? Then, you know, it is what it is. But to Nacho's point, though, if you Canelo, you got to get in there and you got to do that shit. You got to give us the fights that we want to see so I can put you on that level. I want to be able to say, damn, bro, he fought everybody and he mopped them. He fought everybody, he mopped them. Or he fought everybody and this one dude gave him problems and beat him, but he came back and beat him in a close fight. Then they had a trilogy and he beat him even worse in the third fight, and all the fights was fire. He ain't gave us that. He ain't been tested like that. And when you say there's a difference between the greatest and the most accomplished, maybe Canelo will end up being the most accomplished. Maybe. If not there already. You understand what I'm saying? But in order for him to be the greatest, he going to have to get in one of these fights where it's 50-50, where people go into it feeling like he could lose, and then he actually get in a fight and he could be losing and he pulls victory from the jaws of defeat. Because people love intrigue. They love suspense. You know? And so I think that's what Nacho is alluding to, and I understand where he's coming from. But I'm also objective enough to say this. Listen. If he give you Charlo, if he give you Andrade, if he give you David Benavidez, if he give you Bivol, if he give you Beterbiev, if he give you Zerto, and he beat all their ass and retired with no more losses on his record, then I think, like, you can't say he ain't the greatest or one of the great. Like, you can't hold it against him that he didn't have a great trilogy or a great, you know what I'm saying, rematch or a great epic back and forth. Yeah, you can't get mad at him for that. If he beat all these fighters that we want to see him fight, and he beats them convincingly, whether it be decision or by, you know, stoppage, then that's not on him. Because at this point, it's like, bro, he went from 154 to 160 to 168 to 175, and he smashed on everybody that was anybody. And, I mean, what y'all want him to do? So, the story has still yet to be written. I would say, as of the time of this video, I understand where Nacho is coming from. And maybe one of these dudes can test him. I think there's a lot of great fights in there, in these names that are relevant to Canelo that will be big-time fights. But I think these dudes got to put themselves in a position by fighting each other. I think the Andrade with Canelo fight becomes bigger if we can somehow get Andrade and Charlo in the ring. The Charlo and Canelo fight would have become bigger if we would have somehow got Charlo and Andrade in the ring with each other. Bivol and Beterbiev, a fight between either one of those two and Canelo becomes bigger if they fight each other first and unify. Joe Smith and Beterbiev, like, they both fight for top rank. Like, bro, unify them titles, fam. Unify them titles. Like, I think these guys got to write their own legacy, make it worth Canelo's while, in my opinion, and make the fight even bigger. And then when they get in there with his ass, put on, show you on this level, show you above his level. Shit, I don't know. But I agree with Nacho to a certain extent, man. He ain't caught the hearts of a lot of fight fans because a lot of his fights been kind of foregone conclusions lately. I think in part because he is so good, but I think the other part is the competition level hasn't been what it needs to be to challenge him to the point what Nacho is asking for and what I as a fight fan am asking for. So that's all I got, man. I don't think Nacho is hating. I detected a lot of truth in his comments. You know, I detected a lot of honesty, and I agree with a lot of what he said. But y'all let me know what you think. Comment down below, smash the like, subscribe to the channel, share the video, go turn on the notifications for me. Knockoutboxing86@yahoo.com is the email address, and follow me on Twitter at KOBoxing86TV. And don't forget about our live show. I'm live tonight, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Live on Friday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and live on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Central Time with the singing OG KQKC. But I appreciate y'all watching the video. Enjoy the rest of your day, and with that, we out of here. Peace, y'all.